regular meeting of the Bedford Township Board of Zoning Appeals for July 10th. We'll have our members and representatives introduce themselves, starting on my left with Arvin.
Arvin Shah.
Pull your mic up, Marvin.
Yeah, Arvin Shah.
Thank you. Bob Potter.
I'm George Welling.
Tom Zebek.
Jody Rector, Planning and Zoning.
Dennis Kohler, Building Inspector.
Phil Goldsmith, Township Attorney.
Planning and Zoning.
Thank you. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call. Karen, do you call roll?
Yes. Mr. Shah?
Here.
Mr. Welling?
Here.
Mr. Zebek?
Here.
Mr. Lake, I'm not sure if he's going to be here or not, but Mr. Potter?
Here. Okay. If everybody's had a chance to look at the agenda, looking for a motion to approve.
I move we approve the agenda for July 10th, 2018.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion and a support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion approved. How about a motion for the approval of the minutes for last meeting? That'd be June 4.
So moved.
Okay, we have
Second.
we have a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. New business. And we have one item on new business today. Could I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Support.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Mr.
Opposed?
Chairman,
Yes.
before we start, we should notify the applicant that we only have 4 board members tonight as opposed to 5. And what that means for you is that state law requires 3 affirmative votes for a variance request to be approved. So your odds are reduced slightly by having 4 as opposed to 5 members. So 3 of the 4 members would have to vote in your favor tonight to approve your variance. We normally give an applicant the option of proceeding or of waiting until we have a full board. It's uncommon for us not to have a full board. We normally always have a full board, but there must have been some emergency or something for our board member who's absent, so.
Thank you, Phil.
If it were to be...
Okay, I'm Lottie Lashley. I own the property. If it were to be declined or not approved, could I come back and reapply or not?
No.
With the full board?
To specifically answer your question, for you to reapply, there would have to be a material change in the circumstances.
Okay.
And so absent a material change in the circumstances or the way a change in, for instance, a site plan or a change in your case, in the number of structures that you want to have erected on your property, there would have to be a change in that. So absent that, you would not be able to come back at a subsequent meeting. The decision of the Board of Zoning Appeals is final, and it can only be appealed to the Monroe County Circuit Court. The board sits as what's called a quasi-judicial board. And out of courtesy, we notify you of this. I'm not expressing in any way, shape, form, or manner what these 4 board members will do tonight. There may be 3 or there may be 4 who wish to approve your variance request, or there may not be, and we won't know until it's presented. So the choice is yours.
If it were put off, how long would it be put off?
Well, it would be put off to next month. This board meets normally on the first Monday of each month. We're meeting today because of
There's the holiday.
because of the 4th of July holiday last week. So
August 6th.
August 6th would be the meeting, which would be the first Monday of August. So it's totally your choice as to whether you'd like to proceed this evening or to come back on August 6th.
You think?
In attendance, you guys, is that, I know nothing's promised, but is it, to be able to have the other gentleman in, is that?
Like I say, normally,
You guys
we have a
Yeah.
5-member board present because we have alternates as well.
Yeah, so somebody's busy.
So, you know what, Mr. Chairman? Why don't we take a brief recess, contact our absent board member to see if he just forgot about it, if he could come over, or what the circumstances might be. Would that be okay?
That would be fine with me. I
And
think it'd
then
be a good idea.
we'll make a call and
Thank
just
you.
bear with us for a minute.
Okay,
Try to help
thank
you
you.
out here.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Mr. Lake is here now, so we'll continue. We've already opened the public hearing regarding the appeal of Lottie Lashley, 9635 Douglas Road. Let's see, Karen, would you
Sure.
like to read the summary?
Yes. The applicant is seeking a variance to construct a ground-mounted solar photovoltaic module to be located within the front yard. The property consists of 16 acres, having approximately 312.4 feet of frontage on Douglas Road. Per Section 400-1903, accessory buildings. Accessory buildings shall not be erected in any front yard pursuant to the schedule of regulations of Bedford Township zoning ordinance. In speaking with the building official, Dennis Kohler, this type of structure would be considered an accessory structure to the main dwelling. Due to the proposed location of the structure in proximity to the existing home, the proposed structure will encroach on property in front of the front building line of the home. However, the proposed location of the structure exceeds the required front yard setback in the agricultural zoning district. The applicant has indicated in the submitted letter the proposed panels will be used to help offset the power pulled from the power company, and the proposed location was chosen to get the best production for the home, as the panels are to be the most south-facing as possible. At this time, no letters or calls of objection have been received. I also wanted to state that the applicant, or the owner, Lottie Lashley, has given authorization to, are you Peter? Joseph, to speak on her behalf.
Okay, thank you. Would the applicant or applicant's representative like to approach the podium, state your name, address?
Joseph Severino Kalinowski, P.O. Box 182334, Shelby Township, Michigan.
Okay. Do you have anything to add to what Karen indicated?
Understanding that the 400.1903, I understand with the accessory buildings on that sense. I think we do have appropriate setback with that, you guys, let alone the actual landscaping. I understand that we are off of Douglas Road, but on this, I don't believe it could be visible at all, you know, for the most part. There's 3 or 4 very nice-sized trees. At that sense, I actually do plan for curb appeal with the customer always. So try to keep it where not always that they want it visible, but also in instances like this where possibly we have to kind of work together as with the city as well, so.
Okay. All right, do any of the, thank you. Do any of the board members have any questions for Joseph?
May I?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, go ahead.
On your drawings, you are showing lots of trees.
Yes.
Are they new planted trees?
No,
or
these are
existing,
definitely has some age to them, sir. Yes, sir.
existing trees?
Yes.
And okay, fine.
Okay. Anyone else?
Can you read? Is that what we're supposed to be right here? I can't read what that says. I'm trying to block.
Subject parcel,
What'd you say?
subject parcel
Yeah, oh, okay.
within the
I was trying to figure out where
heavy
here this was.
black outline.
And south is. Okay.
That's why I added that in,
That looks good.
but I believe that's, according to his
Right,
drawing, that's
right,
where the,
and they wouldn't lie. Okay, thank you.
I have another question.
yes.
How much room you have to move this back?
You guys, I'd have to look that up. I'm gonna say they did have one, call it island of shrub, in which they were gonna remove, in which that was gonna be around where the array location would be. So I'm gonna say it was kind of enclosed in that area in which the tall trees in that sense were kind of limiting me to the east and moving it north side. So I am kind of central to make their efficiency as good as possible, come the west side of when the sun is on the west. So absolutely, the azimuth placement of the solar is absolutely key. Absolutely, exactly. So I couldn't really move anywhere north or east towards the taller trees, and then towards, call it west-ish, would be more closer to the home, so I wanted to centralize it.
It appears you've found a clearing that's fairly close to the main residence. Do you have an idea how many? I think in the drawing somewhere you've shown the approximate number of feet from the home.
I'm looking right here. I got 302 from the 392 from the Douglas Road side. It looks
meant
like about
from the-
51 feet, sir.
Oh, okay.
51 feet on center from,
Okay, you're right.
that's on the second image.
So if you went west, in a westerly direction, which would end up being behind the main residence,
Due to.
how many feet away would that'd be like on the other side of all the trees?
Yep,
Be what, a couple hundred feet or more?
I'm looking, like I said, right here, Lottie. I can't get towards Douglas or come
Okay, if you
down.
come back behind the house,
I think that's where we plan.
behind the main house, you've got a septic tank coming out there.
Yeah, it looks like you'd have to go beyond all of your other outbuildings.
Almost where the project site would be, but that's, you know, again, you guys can maybe even see in that shaded picture, that's kind of why I chose that area specific.
Okay, that tree that is, that's my car sitting there next to the house. Behind that, there is a tree that we've taken down to give a better access there, open that up more. There is another tree to the west of that a little bit. We've tried to clear some of that out also. This is all heavy brush.
Yeah, that's like forest, you guys, right there. So I think for the cost for my customer to chop those trees down even at the time, because I did kind of plan for that, but they did have a beautiful access to that spot, so.
No, my point was, I apologize for not being more clear, but it appears from the drawing that if the proposed location, the solar array is roughly 51 feet away from the home in its proposed location, if it were to move west completely on the other side of all the trees, it might be over 200 feet away from the home.
I'm gonna say that you would still be very close to the home, sir. I would say about kitty corner at that point. But I also was, with trenching purposes and stuff, her meter is quite close to that location, the original location, you guys. Again, like I said, I would plan with anybody in this room, as far as, saving some trees and saving on cost when it comes to getting solar. So in that sense, that's again why I did chose that location. And also, I just wanted you guys to, again, recognize the size of trees, and I know physically we are not there, but on that east side of where the array would be, there's no way you guys can see that. The length of her driveway, in how it kind of balloons, that stretch of the driveway is, it's fully blocked, you guys.
Pine trees that we put in the late 70s. So they're full grown.
Yeah,
at
they're
this point.
up there, you guys.
And behind the house, that's actually a wood.
That's all.
Behind the house is woods.
It's taken when there's no leaves on it. So it looks like
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
a wooded area.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of pine
Yes.
trees on the other side of the house.
Yeah.
So there is no clearing,
No,
really?
there's no
No,
clearing there.
this
Okay.
is
Yeah. And
Best
that's,
area for it.
and on the drawing side, I don't know if you guys have the actual drawings, not that aerial, yep, that one. On this, I'm sorry. That one right there. If you guys look at that on the eastern or southeastern side, you can see that that picture was done, call it between noon and 2 o'clock. And so the shaded areas that I projected with Miss Lottie that day, it wouldn't be as good as a candidate for solar in that area. You know, come the western side, the 4 or 5 o'clock side, especially come winter time, you guys, it's not as beneficial.
Okay.
How tall is the array?
The array would be, which is on there, you guys, it would stand 9 feet at its tallest top point. So because of the tilt that it's on, naturally we need to meet the azimuth of the sun and have a proper degree. So your top line is about 9 feet. 3 by 5 of the panels, definitely super low profile. So again, it's not a full 10 feet erect, but it's about 9 feet.
I have a question, Karen. In your write-up, you say 321 feet. And the drawing says 392 feet. There is a discrepancy there.
We give an estimate, I'm not, you know, I can't verify exactly which one it is. What we do is we take the aerial and we do a measurement.
Going by this one drawing here with the picture inset,
Yes.
okay. I see it's practically blocked everywhere by trees and all that type of thing,
Right.
except that one gap there,
Where are you at, sir?
right here.
Behind the car?
Yeah, that's, I want to say also an engineered drawing, so we try to show, you know, its supposed brush and obviously realistic brush around it, so in that sense, I'm going to say the actual proper photo at the very top right of that, it does show that it's obviously kind of,
And this tree is gone.
yep, it does show that it's kind of closed up there. So
Okay.
I want to say back into the digital drawing of it, I want to say they maybe forgot a tree.
I was just concerned
Yep,
about
yep.
somebody driving up
Yes,
Douglas Road
absolutely,
and seeing
yep,
that, yeah.
Absolutely.
Mr. Chair, if I may?
Yes.
Just for clarification, now that I've had an opportunity to take a look, our reference to the 321.4 feet is the amount of frontage on Douglas Road, and the 392 is actually the distance from the road to the array.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any other questions from the board?
I move that we close the public hearing.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is closed. Thank you. Thank you both.
Thank you guys very much.
Okay, do we have any questions or comments amongst us?
No.
No. Yes.
I've got a question. This might be more of a Karen question. Do we have any ordinances governing around solar arrays, solar power, or anything in the township?
We do not, but in speaking with our legal advisor and the building official, it was determined that this would be for a single use for a single home, and that it would be treated as an accessory structure and not a field, so to speak. Solar panels, I don't know if Billy went to.
That's accurate. So, in my opinion, this would have no precedential value for someone coming in asking this board for a variance to put in a solar farm, so to speak, because we don't have an ordinance that would either A, permit it, or be regulated. So if that becomes, if we have an application that comes in for that purpose, I can see the township board maybe adopting a short period of time, and which would give planning and legal the opportunity to draft and adopt such an ordinance. So there might be a moratorium on that, but since this is for residential, single residential use only, it's being treated as an accessory structure to a residential dwelling unit. So you hit the nail on the head. We don't have an ordinance, either a standalone ordinance or a zoning ordinance that addresses this.
Question for Phil. Would the practical difficulty be the fact that where the trees are, how much it would take to move the trees to move it to another area? Would that be considered a practical difficulty?
Yes, yeah, the geography of the site, the existence of the mature trees,
Okay.
the necessity to to erect the solar array in a location where it would be useful and be able to capture the sunlight to ultimately generate electricity. So I think all of that would be a practical difficulty that is particular or specific to the geography of this site.
Thank you.
Shall I try motion?
Yeah, something else that Ms. Kincaid just brought to my attention, and she's absolutely right. In terms of precedential value, as the board is aware, we take these matters on a case-by-case basis. And someone could possibly come in and ask for a variance on 2 acres or 1 acre. This is a larger site, a 16-acre, give or take, is that right, acre site? 16-acre site, well off the road by some 394 feet. So that's something that you could, if you fashion a motion, that you could take into consideration as well. Again, each application for a variance needs to be measured by its own merits. And this is a unique site because it's a larger site and it's well off the road. And all of those factors that you have discussed thus far in your deliberation.
Thank you. Anyone else? Arvid, would you like to?
Yeah, I try to see how it do. I make a motion to approve the request for variance on property 5802 017 005 00 with the following practical difficulty. The acreage on that site is 16 acres, surrounded by heavy trees and wooded area as a geography of site. Proposed location is about 392 feet from Douglas Road. Area near proposed location has number of large trees, which gives them good coverage as not to be visible from the Douglas Road. And the location chosen by the consultant vendor, Power Home Solar Roofing, is to maximize the power generation with a clearance and the surrounding nearby. And as the big trees are surrounded with this location, there will be no adverse aesthetic consideration.
I'll second that.
Anything I need to add, practical difficulty?
I think you hit it all.
Okay.
Do we need to put anything in there about that there's no objections on file from neighbors, or is that?
You know, I don't think that's necessary, and we don't let that be the controlling factor, whether there is an objection or not an objection, and it shouldn't be. It should be decided on the physical characteristics of the site, and that's exactly what you're doing.
Okay. All right, thank you. So we have a motion and a second. Karen, would you like to call the roll?
Mr. Shaw?
Aye.
Mr. Welling?
Aye.
Mr. Zebek?
Aye.
Mr. Lake?
Yes.
Mr. Potter?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, motion's approved. All righty. Next on the agenda is public comment. So the meeting's open for public comment from anybody. We see one other person that is part of the public.
Does she have something?
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
I would like to thank the board for their consideration and your time.
Very welcome, thank you. Okay. Next would be board and staff comments. Arvid?
I think as we move forward with the technology and alternative energy, I think the township, I would like to recommend the Township and Planning Commission to develop an ordinance for wind farm as well as the solar panel. For specific consideration should be area, adjacency to the existing structure, aesthetics, shielding required. And I think we don't have any ordinance, and it's time for township to move forward and do something concrete, because more and more application will come forward. Actually, somebody in Michigan is marketing free solar home for residents in Michigan. I just read it on Facebook. I don't know how good it is, but it's coming. And if you go to Ohio towards Fort Wayne, you will see huge wind farms now coming up like crazy. And it may happen in our township as well.
Okay, thank you. Jake?
Well, actually, there's quite a few wind farms already in Michigan as well.
Yeah.
If you go to mid-Michigan area.
Oh, yeah, mid-Michigan.
Tons of wind farms. But anyway, I echo Mr. Shaw's comments. I think that's quite accurate. We need to probably get with what's going on locally. I don't know which other townships we could potentially look at. Ordinances are already out there, but I think it's important. Also, I apologize for being late.
Okay, thank you. I agree with Arvin. And as always, I would like to thank our township officials, our township support staff for helping us through this meeting. George?
Just echo what you guys said about Arvin, and also the planning department, along with your information, made it very much easy to understand. Thank you.
Nothing. Thank you.
I have nothing, thank you.
I have nothing either.
Nothing.
At this point, we don't have any applications for the next meeting, which is August 6th, and the deadline for that is Monday, due to this being the second Tuesday. So we will let you know if we will have a meeting in August. If not, I'll let you know immediately after the deadline.
Okay, thank you. By the power vested in me, I'll call this meeting adjourned.